Seduction doesn't knock. It slips in quietly, like smoke through a locked door. Most men wouldn't even notice it. Would you even know if a woman is seducing you? Seduction isn't always loud or obvious. It hides in glances, lingers in silence, and dances in the spaces between words. And while the average man chases every spark, the Stoic man doesn't chase, he watches. In a world full of noise, he listens to the unspoken. Where others react, he remains still. Because the Stoic knows, what's subtle is often the most powerful. Here are 8 clear signs she's pulling you into her orbit, and how a Stoic man sees them coming. 2. Sign 1. She invades your stillness. Theme: physical proximity as a psychological test. Word count: approximately 150. She moves closer. No obvious reason, no real need. Maybe she sits a little too close, brushes past you accidentally, or lingers in your space when there's plenty of room elsewhere. It's subtle, a quiet test. She's not just invading your space. She's watching how you react. Will you flinch, shift, lean in like you're eager? A Stoic man does neither. He holds his ground, unmoved, unbothered, because stillness radiates power. It says, I'm centered. You don't shake me. Why does this work? Because humans subconsciously link physical closeness with emotional intimacy. When she steps into your space and you don't break your calm, it sends a primal signal. Confidence, security, presence. You're not playing her game. You're making her want to stay in yours. 3rd sign 2. Her eyes break the silence. Theme: lingering eye contact and invisible communication. Word count: approximately 150. There's a kind of silence that speaks louder than words, and it lives in her eyes. When she looks at you, it's not a glance. It's a gaze that lingers, holds, and almost searches. As if she's reading a chapter of your story without ever turning a page. Psychologically, sustained eye contact triggers the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone, deepening emotional connection and sparking attraction. So when she holds your gaze just a little longer than needed, it's not by accident. And if that eye contact is paired with a slow, knowing smile or a subtle head tilt, that's not just coincidence. It's chemistry, a silent signal, a quiet invitation. You're not just seen, you're being noticed. Sign 3. She mirrors your calm. When she's around you, her energy subtly shifts. Her posture aligns with yours. She matches your pace, your tone. Her voice? It softens, slower, more intentional. This isn't random. It's called vocal mirroring, a subconscious cue of connection. It means your calm is contagious. She's not just listening, she's syncing with you. Her body and voice are unconsciously echoing your presence. It's nature's way of saying, I feel safe with you. But a Stoic doesn't let this inflate his ego. He observes, not obsesses. He doesn't perform. He remains grounded. Because true power lies in stillness. When she mirrors your calm, it's not about control. It's about resonance. And a man who walks in quiet confidence, he doesn't need to chase. He attracts. 5. Sign 4. She challenges your composure. Word count: approximately 150. She teases you with a smirk, drops a sarcastic comment, or lightly mocks your opinions, not to offend, but to see how you react. These playful provocations are her way of testing your emotional strength. Will you get flustered? Will you snap back? Or will you smile and play along? Seduction isn't always direct. It often dances in the shadows of psychology. By challenging your composure, she's looking for emotional control, not dominance. She wants to know if you're the kind of man who stays centered when the heat rises. The more unfazed you remain, the more intrigued she becomes. Why? Because calmness in the face of chaos signals confidence, control, and mystery, all things that magnetize attraction. If she can't shake you, she'll want to know more about you, and in that curiosity, desire quietly grows. 6. Sign 5. She lets silence linger theme, seductive tension through pauses. Most people panic in silence. They rush to fill the void with noise, with nervous chatter. But not her. She lets silence stretch, lets the moment breathe. A question asked, then nothing. Just a glance, a slow sip, a pause that says more than words ever could. This isn't shyness, it's control. She knows silence builds tension, makes you lean in, makes you wonder. And if you don't squirm, if you meet that silence with calm, with stillness, she notices. Because you're not like the rest. You're not trying to impress. You're listening, present, unshaken. To her, that's magnetic. And in that quiet, something deeper begins to speak. Her touch tests. You accidental touches rarely happen by chance. When she grazes your hand, gives you a playful hit, or adjusts your clothes, it's a test of your composure. These moments are small but meaningful. Psychologically, physical touch triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone, creating a deeper connection. It's her way of testing how you respond. A Stoic doesn't recoil or overreact. He stays grounded and aware, acknowledging the touch without losing his cool. His calmness shows strength, not indifference. He's in control, never giving the game away. The subtle art of staying poised is key to maintaining attraction. 8th sign 7. She appears in your orbit theme, creating coincidences to stay near you. She begins to show up in places you've casually mentioned, almost as if by accident. But the increased frequency of these encounters is no coincidence. It's intentional. While the pattern becomes obvious, a Stoic remains calm, observing without chasing. His ability to stay unbothered only fuels the intrigue. The more indifferent he appears, the deeper the seduction grows. She starts to notice that her subtle advances don't rattle him, and that very calmness is what draws her in even further. Sign 8. She gets vulnerable first. When a woman opens up about a personal story or past pain, she's not just sharing facts, she's showing trust. This emotional exposure is a powerful move in the dance of attraction. Vulnerability signals an invitation to deepen the connection, to move beyond surface-level interaction, and to engage on a more intimate level. This act of vulnerability isn't a weakness, but rather a strength. It's her way of saying, I trust you with my emotions. For the Stoic, this moment is pivotal. Instead of rushing to fix or exploit, the Stoic listens intently, offering a safe space without judgment. They understand the value of this emotional exchange and choose how to respond thoughtfully. Building a bridge of trust that strengthens the bond, seduction is subtle, but undeniably powerful. It's an art that often goes unnoticed, but the Stoic remains vigilant, observing every gesture, every word, before reacting. They don't fall for the allure blindly. They remain grounded, using awareness as their shield. A true Stoic understands that the power lies not in reacting impulsively, but in pausing, observing, and then deciding. When you recognize the dance, you stop being a pawn and start leading the rhythm. If you've seen any of these signs, maybe she's not just being nice. Maybe she's playing the oldest game in the world,